Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another round of sound. This is the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Bob Pompeani. So much to get into. Among the topics, Martavis Bryant, Corey Dickerson, Sean Miller. But the #1 topic tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown is the Penguins at the deadline, which is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Lots to get into. Here's your panel left to right on your television screen. We have Colin Dunlap, anchor of the Fan Morning Show to the far left. In the middle, it's Ron Cook, columnist with the Post-Gazette, of course, and the Cook and Pony Show on 93.7 The Fan. And Chris Mack with a tan, back from Florida, I
don't know if I'd call this a tan, Bob. I pinked up a little bit.
It looks pretty good. I'll take it right now. Anyway, we have a lot to get into. We're going to begin with the trade deadline because the Penguins beat it earlier on Friday with a big deal involving Derek Brassard. At the time, Jim Rutherford didn't think he's going to be able to make something like this, but it all came together. And now the question, do they need another deal? We'll start with Ron Cook on this. Ron, were you surprised that Brassard ended up coming to Pittsburgh? Did you have a problem with the cost involved? And what do you think is next?
Bob, that's a lot of questions. Hey, I am a little surprised. I'm surprised they were able to get him under the cap room, but Rutherford has proven he's a genius and can do amazing things. I am concerned about taking stuff out of the room of a very successful team. I heard all kind of great stuff about Ryan Reeves. I can live without him. He hardly played. But I think Ian Cole was a very popular and productive player, and I think their defense took a big hit with him going. Now, I get the trade. Brassard gives them their four-center model that they've won with the last 2 years, but I hope he can find another defenseman. I don't know if Hunwick is good enough. Maybe Ruedel will jump in there. You got to get at least an eighth defenseman, though, I would think.
Hunwick definitely isn't good enough. We saw that last night. Ian Cole, much better defender, much better defenseman. But I honestly think that the Penguins are just going to throw caution to the wind and just try to outscore people, try to skate past people, and try to put a lot of goals on the board. I think that we see a kind of an all-in mechanism right now by Jim Rutherford, and that's the way they're going to go with it. I don't have a huge problem with it because I don't think Hunwick will be exposed moving forward because I don't think he'll play all that much moving forward.
Yeah, I look at it this way, and I understand the people that say, well, if your sixth or seventh defenseman is the reason you don't win a cup, then you got bigger issues than whoever the sixth or seventh defenseman is. But there's a trickle-down effect, especially once you get deep into the playoffs and your top 4 or 5 defensemen are having to carry 3, 4, 5, 6 extra minutes a night. I mean, Chris Letang. The reason the Penguins survived last year's playoff run without Chris Letang is because they were able to spread the minutes out to as many guys as possible. And as far as Reeves goes, that might be a guy that you want to get into the playoffs a couple games here or there, depending on who the opponent is. You want to get physical. You want to grind the other team down a little bit. He can do that. But overall, you can't have a problem with Jim Rutherford somehow ending up with Derek Brassard 3 days before the deadline.
Well, the reason the Penguins were able to win last year is because they won a gazillion faceoffs, particularly in the defensive zone, and their superstars played well in the last 12, 15 games of the season. That's why. And the reason their blue line was able to survive the run, to my point, is because they had a whole bunch of guys they trusted. If you only got 4 or 5 guys you trust on the blue line and you don't trust Matt Hunwick, which I don't think any of us do really in a playoff situation, a big-time situation, and you can only give them 4 or 5 minutes a game, then you're basically playing with a shortened bench. And I don't think Mike Sullivan wants to do that.
You need more than 7 defensemen. You just do. Guys get hurt. It happens every single year. I like Chad Ruedel. He hasn't played since when? 1993. It seems like he hasn't been in there. But I liked what he did for them last year. But that's it. They got minor league guys after that. You know, people, even if Hunwick does the job, people are going to get hurt and you're going to need more guys. That's why I think Rutherford does something tomorrow.
All right, on the current roster, it may take giving up something. If you had to make a choice of who goes, Colin, who would it be?
Connor Sheary. I would have traded him last month. Connor Sheary's the guy. It's nothing against Connor Sheary. He's just, I think, the most movable contract and the piece that people might want.
I
don't know. He hasn't scored in a long time, Colin. I would agree with you, but he has gone forever without scoring. I would think he'd be the one guy they could afford to move as well. But I don't know how much takers you're going to find. He makes a pretty big buck now that he has a new contract.
Yeah, Sherry, Rust, Rowney. I think you could sort of spin a wheel and pick one of those guys.
Not Rust, Chris. Not Rust. He's pretty damn good.
And I think, the more time you get with guys like Malkin and Crosby, the better you're going to look at times. I think Sherry's shown that in the past. Maybe this year hasn't been his year, but I think, look, they've got so much depth on the wings right now. I think any of those guys, if you're really going to go after another defenseman to flesh things out on the blue line, I could live with any of them.
I'm not moving Rust under any circumstances. I like his speed. I like what he brings to that team.
He shows up in big games, too.
And he also does that. You're right.
We also saw a big game player last night, and Patrick Hornquist had a goal disallowed, came back, got a goal. It's amazing what his presence means on the power play, but he, like Ian Cole, is a unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. I would think this Brassard deal is going to make it more difficult to sign him, Colin. Do you still think they can bring him in under the cap? The cap's going to go up a little bit.
The cap's going to move, so it's
what's most likely to happen?
Well, they got 97 assistant GMs, so it's up to them to kind of figure it out. But I think that they'll be able to bring him back and keep Brassard. They're going to have to part with some pieces, but I do think that you'll see Hornquist back in Pittsburgh next year.
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be awful hard to keep. Hey, I love him. I mean, I would hope they find a way to do him. Now, they have Aston Reese, who would be Hornquist next year if Hornquist isn't here. It's a small sample, but he's been pretty impressive since he's been here. I just think Hornquist is going to strike gold on a free agent market, and good for him. That's the system. I hope he gets every penny he can. I'll be pleasantly surprised if he's back.
Yeah, I would be surprised too, Ron. I think, to your point, Zach Aston Reese has been talked about as a little bit of a mini Hornquist, and if you can get him to develop a little bit more, you get some playoff experience under his belt. I'd love to keep Hornquist, but if he hits the open market, he's going to get paid to the point where you can't fit him under the cap, even if the cap does grow.
But I don't know if anybody can do anything like Hornquist. For me, Aston Reese is more of a Kunitz than a Hornquist. Hornquist does jobs that nobody else wants to do.
There's no question he brings something to them that they don't have, but you can't pay everybody.
All right, I have 30 seconds or so. Real quick, round the horn. Start with you, Chris, on this one. Today we saw Boston go out and get Rick Nash. They gave up a lot to get him. We also saw Plekanec end up in Toronto. There are some good teams on the Atlantic side of the Eastern Conference right now. Which of these teams do you think is a team capable in a best-of-7 beating the Penguins?
I think Tampa certainly is, just because of their depth. Boston, I don't know. I think there's a lot of young and experienced guys on that roster. I don't know how Rick Nash necessarily fits into that, too. Maybe they need somebody to bring a veteran presence to the room. But Tampa is the one team that, when I look at things on the Eastern side, that gives me the most worry as a Pens fan.
Tampa's the only team that gives me fear in a 7-game series against the Penguins, to be quite honest with you. That's it, just Tampa.
I like Toronto, too. I think they're very good, very fast. I think they can match the Penguin speed. There's no overwhelming team, though, this year. There's nobody where you say, man, the Penguins can't beat them or they can't beat the Penguins. I think it's going to be a fascinating playoff run.
Yeah, and the Penguins getting the heads of a lot of goaltenders. We've seen that quite a bit. The one guy we haven't seen it so much is Andrei Vasilevsky. He's pretty good in Tampa. All right, now it's time to talk about some big trades. Yeah, we're talking trades. So you're going to see right now at number one Cochran giving you an extra $750 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade. It's their part of the Auto Showstopper event, where you're also going to save up to $12,000. Leases from $99 a month. The savings go on and on, but the Auto Showstopper event ends February 28th at all number one Cochran locations. So check them out there or Cochran.com. When we come back, we'll talk about the Pirates at spring training next. The number one Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by number one Cochran. Go one better. And by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Have a greater hand in your health.